Welcome to the list. This is a show we pluck our name out of our all-time movie watch list, watch it and review it for your review and pleasure. The movie we're scratching off the list today is the 2004 Sam Raimi Spider-Man dose. Peter Parker is beset with troubles in his failing personal life as he battles a former brilliant scientist named Doctor Octopus. This released 2 years after the Spider-Man Uno. I don't think I saw it actually in the theater.
Neta?
I think I saw this in the on DVD years later.
Well, I saw this at the theater. It was one of the best experiences of my life.
Okay.
At the time, sure.
Before we take a deep dive into Spider-Man Dose, if you guys could head on down there in the comments, let us know your perspective, where you're coming from the Spider-Man Dose, how much you love it, you hate it, any and all Spider-Man thoughts, let us know down in the comments. When you're down there, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be great. Of course, you can't start a Sam Raimi movie without great Danny Elfman music.
Of course.
I mean, you can, because they did in Spider-Man 3, because Elfman and Raimi had a falling out during the production of this one. Elfman said that working with Raimi was a miserable experience, and that's why he's not really working with him in Spider-Man 3, and somebody else came in to fill it.
Shit, I did not know that.
Elfman did a great job because it sounds like Spider-Man, but it also does not sound like Batman, but it also sounds different than Spider-Man Uno, but it's still Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? It's like he was able to keep that same style within the music.
Elfman has always known how to compartmentalize the music for the movies, and it's very noticeable which song or which score is for which movie. Even though it's a Spider-Man movie, it's got all the tropes. Spider-Man 2, while being similar in some respects to 1, it has its own theme, so the music follows the theme very, very closely.
I really, really love this art recalling the first movie. It's Alex Ross art that's recapping the movie. It's really, really good. I love that.
Oh yeah, I think it's one of the best recaps I've seen in a while.
But we're basically following their lives. They're out of school now. They're grown-ass people into college. Peter's really struggling, trying to balance him being a pizza guy and also being Spider-Man. I love the go that the guy yells at him when he's going to deliver the pizzas. Go! We also see a young Donnell Rawlings.
Whoa! He stole that guy's pizza!
I was like, why does that face look so familiar?
Yeah, but actually that cameo was supposed to be Stan Lee saying that, but it was just not coming out right. So they gave that part to Donnell.
That's good. That's a good choice. I loved it. It's so natural.
So not only is he a pizza man,
Pizza time.
he's still the photographer at the Bugle. JJ's spinning the whole city against Spider-Man.
Best character in the whole movies.
I think that the biggest fumble of all time is Peter not getting with Elizabeth Banks' character. She's so nice. She's into him. Y este pendejo's like, MJ. Like, stop being a bitch.
I gotta say, I love Elizabeth Banks way more than MJ.
And she's like, oh, over Peter, está bien pendejo, güey. We did the list for the first Spider-Man, and after rewatching it as an adult, I realized I don't like MJ. And then here, my feelings just kept growing. But what I do like is him back at school getting pummeled by all the book bags. That part was funny. But you can visibly see Toby getting angry because he was actually getting hit in the head.
I mean, that was funny.
There's like a good portion of the beginning of the movie that its sole purpose is to show us that he really can't juggle everything at the same time. And it gets so bad that homie forgot his own birthday at the end of the day.
The struggles of trying to be an adult.
And Spider-Man on top of that. It's hard enough to be an adult. Yeah, aparte he's Spider-Man. It's like, what the hell, right? Everybody leaves. Aunt May's crying over $20. I feel you, girl. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
It's also letting us know that Peter can't exactly be with Mary Jane because he puts her in danger. So he's juggling all that. But he tells her he's going to see her play. He goes back to his shitty apartment with the rent guy, Mr. Dickovich. He was cool. Well, he's an asshole, but he's cool.
But after that, his only line is just, rent?
I promise as soon as I...
If promises were crackers, my daughter would be fat.
I was thinking about this, like, why doesn't Harry help him out, Like, he knows that Peter's a genius. Well, get his ass a job.
Good question. Go, man, I've never thought about it. Go, Harry.
If I'm a billionaire or I got a bunch of money, I'm not going to let you deliver pizzas, Come and mop the floors. I'll pay you more.
Wait, Harry's a dick.
Yes. So he goes to meet Otto, played by the great Alfred Molina. He's really, really good. Other considerations for Octavius was Chris Cooper, who ended up playing actually Norman Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man Dose from 2014. So he was considered along with Robert De Niro, David Duchovny, Ed Harris, Arnold Schwarzenegger,
No.
Sir Sam Neill, and Liev Schreiber. They were all considered, but rightly so, Alfred Molina got the part after Raimi's wife saw Molina in Frida. So she suggested it to him.
Wow, okay.
Well, shout outs to Miss Raimi because he was probably easily the best choice. Even his hair at times kind of like resembled a little bit of the cartoon.
A little bit?
I mean, yeah, but it didn't come off cartoony, which is what I'm trying to say.
Never feels cartoony to me. He
No.
feels real. He feels grounded. He feels like the product of his endeavors and his faults.
He's not like, I'm going to take over the world kind of guy. He's kind of like, he's got his own ambitions and he's really want to do that. And then stuff happens that alters those feelings, right? Plus that with other things that happen, him losing his wife and all this other stuff. So he does feel like the most human character out of the Spidey villains.
Well, I think the whole movie is basically him coping with trauma.
Well, but he's also being infiltrated and because he's so vulnerable, he's very easily manipulated by the voices in his head of the AI.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
It was this funny during filming. One day, Alfred Molina walked into his set and he finds Willem Dafoe playing Doc Ock on the machine.
What the? Neta?
Yeah, Raimi was with him.
This is amazing.
Yeah, he's on there and he's like reading the script and he's like,
And Osborne Industries for providing it.
That's so well.
I did like that line where he's like,
Intelligence is not a privilege, it's a gift. And you use it for the good of mankind.
I mean, this movie has a lot of quotable lines. And the effects for the arms, bro.
oh yeah.
I loved it.
There's some of them like real puppets, but sometimes you can't tell.
Sometimes you can see, but others, the line is very blurred.
Talking about MJ and they suggest some poetry. And that part was kind of weird to me because it was like, I thought you didn't want to be with MJ, but now that MJ's like, I'm seeing someone, now I'm going to try to get her with some poetry. And I mean, when he delivers the poetry stuff, it was just beyond cringy to me.
The whole love storyline is the weakest part of this movie.
It was weak the last time. I don't like how MJ acts. On the way to the play, a chase is underway. The CGI of this looks really good, especially at night. Like it looked real, man. It looks better than some of the stuff today.
The whole time I'm thinking, dude, this movie was 20 years ago and it looked amazing. I mean, obviously, there's some CGI that's choppy or dubious at best.
I mean, mostly when it's like a human far away doing crazy movements.
Yeah.
But I specify human because Spider-Man doing that looked better. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's something about CGI human that doesn't work. Even today, you can easily tell. But CGI Spider-Man flipping and rolling up I thought that was Toby sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
He eventually heads over to the play in the robber's car.
Hey, Chief, you park there, I'm towing it.
Whatever.
Bro, I was like, oh, damn, okay.
Well, it's
All
not his
right.
car. What does he care?
I mean, of course.
But is not let in because of a douchey usher played by Bruce Campbell.
Every time I see Bruce Campbell in a Raimi movie, I love him.
And so Peter's out there waiting, and we get to hear one of the greatest covers of all time, the Chinita Spider-Man song.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any side.
He also sees her brand new boyfriend pop up and waiting for her, so he decides not to go and see her. And on the way home, he figures that he starts to run out of web. So instead, he has to take the elevator. And there's a whole moment there.
Cool Spidey outfit. Thanks.
Those type of scenes, they could have just cut them out of the movie, but they make Spidey feel like a human.
Yeah, the whole thing was actually improvised too. There was no dialogue for that one. And they shot it 25 different times. They had 25 different takes.
A la verga.
But Raimi kept the first one because he felt that was the best one.
It rides up in the crotch a little bit too.
So he heads over to the Otto's exposition where he's trying to create renewable energy and cheap electricity for everybody. But to do this, he needs some assistance in the form of his 4 arms to help him out to control all this power from the tritium. He has a little inhibitor chip in the back, not letting the arms control him. He starts doing his thing, and then Lord Ozai is like, hey, the successful fusion reaction.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what the
Shout out to Daniel Day Kim. Stuff starts going haywire, but Otto does not want to stop it. He's taterco mi compa. He don't want to do it. And his wife gets it, and the inhibitor that allows him to control the arms breaks and fuses with his spine, and now they control him. It was a total disaster. He lost his wife. It was a mess. Cut to him on the operating table. They're trying to take the arms off, but the arms, because they're controlled by AI, just start murdering the doctors.
I think this is my favorite scene in the whole movie.
I figured because it's super Raimi. The arms start throwing this guy into a light, and no music. It's all the sound of what's going on, which I liked a lot. I really like that one lady that gets pulled away and her nails are being dragged on the floor. That was cool.
But she had like things on the tip of her fingers, and I saw those and like, wow, never saw those before. But still does not take anything off the scene because it's amazing.
But the whole scene felt very horror-like.
It's just the screams and the arms.
Yeah, that's a really cool scene. But then we head over to the vehicle where JJ drops a Doctor Strange reference.
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good. But it's taken.
And after he hires and fires Peter about 4 times, he rehires him for his son's gala tonight. And Peter wants an advance on his pay, which leads to one of the greatest memes of all time.
Could you pay me in advance?
You serious?
You serious? I sounded just like him without me salió. That was good.
I'm crying.
But so now Otto's alone with his thoughts, but he needs money to rebuild. They want him to rebuild the whole thing.
For what do you need money, güey? What? Or where are you buying things from where you can just rock up with a bunch of money and 4 mechanical arms and say, give me copper to do the cables?
If you can steal money, why just don't steal the parts you need, I guess.
Homeboy stealing money, making everything legit.
And Aunt May losing the house to the bank. And while they're trying to fix that, Otto breaks in. And Peter looks like a punk because he runs away and leaves Aunt May. She's like, don't leave me.
Peter? Don't leave me.
Who's that guy? Who's the bank teller? The bank teller?
Joel McHale.
At least we get the toaster.
Actually, that's only with a deposit of 300 or more.
This is our first fight between Spidey and Doc Ock. I really like the exploding bags of coins. I mean, I'm sure that the bank doesn't work like that, like old school DuckTales with the bags of coins like that, but it looked cool. It had a cool effect.
Felt like a video game. Like you punch him and coins fall out.
There's a lot of these pockets of comedy in these Raimi movies where there's a lot of them, but they don't overstay their welcome. Like when Joel McHale's there with Aunt May and he tries to grab a coin and she just slaps it out of his hand. The same thing with the elevator thing. It just feels like genuine interactions between characters.
Yeah, they feel like humans. Who'd have thought?
They don't follow this cookie cutter formula of today where everybody has to be funny. Like Aunt May doesn't crack a joke, but she's funny by being Aunt May sometimes.
Because she's an sweet old lady.
Right. She don't want dickhead bank teller to steal money. Otto ends up grabbing Aunt May as insurance and starts to head up the building. As he's heading up the building, stuff starts falling from the building. This is where Stan Lee saves a lady. He don't say nothing, but he saved a lady. He right there.
Didn't he say like, watch out?
Maybe. They start fighting down the building. I really like that. That looked really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the action scenes are pretty dope. They fist fight, which now doesn't happen. Now they just throw shit at each other. Now they straight up fist fight.
So he gets chucked across the other side of the street and he slingshots himself. I liked Aunt May going, oh, shame on you, before she smacks him. She was like, so she's disrespected. She's disappointed in Doc Ock, like she's known him forever. This is the way she said it.
Shame on you.
She's not trying to be funny, but the way she said it by being Aunt May was funny to me. She gets saved and we're all good. So let's fast forward at the gala where they're honoring John Jameson, the astronaut who just so happens to be MJ's new boy toy.
And boy toy, that's good.
So her and Peter end up having a moment where she's super harsh and basically calls Peter an empty seat.
After all these years, he's nothing to me but an empty seat.
He's struggling, man. How about like, what's going on with you? No, you're not there for me to see my stupid little play. You're an empty chair. Like, damn. Then to make things all worse, Harry's all drunk and slaps the shit out of him a couple times.
Oh,
Then across the room, MJ gets engaged.
oh wait, he just can't catch a break.
It's like, what the hell's going on? Then his web is still not working and his sticky hands isn't working either. And now he needs his goofy ass glasses again because he can't see no more. It's like everything is crumbling around him. At home, he decides to pray, I guess. So he's having a conversation with Uncle Ben. And Uncle Ben says the thing.
With great power comes great responsibility.
And Peter's like, nah, quit, son. This.
Timon.
And ends up throwing the suit in the trash. That's a very iconic reference to an old Amazing Spider-Man issue number 50 called Spider-Man No More, where he stops being Spidey while Kingpin is there doing his shenanigans, and he throws his suit in the trash. And it was shot very similar looking to the comic, so it's a shout out to that.
Yeah, straight out of the cover.
So he goes back to being Peter.
And the most hilarious montage.
And the montage. Yeah, I already said I don't like MJ. Like the last movie I realized as an adult, I don't like her. And it almost felt like she was settling for the astronaut. She felt super superficial. It's like she wants Peter there to be a friend, but then at the same time it's like, no, pero sí, pero no. Their love is like very superficial and barely there. And then Peter's trying to get her back because he's trying to get his whole life back on track to try to get her back.
No, homeboy, move on.
I clocked an hour and 13 minutes and the whole movie's been a bummer, man.
That is true.
Because then he tells Aunt May that he's responsible for Uncle Ben's death and she's all disgusted with him. And it's like, hey, man, when are we going to have some fun with all the Spideys?
Hold on, but that scene... Well,
it's heavy on top of all the like he's breaking Aunt May's heart. It's like,
since there are a lot of moments of people being people, I love those moments. Even though they're a bummer, I'm like, yo, this is heavy shit.
It felt too much of a bummer way. And I felt like there was not enough of a payoff, especially towards the end. But yeah, Otto heads over to Harry to strike up a deal to trade Spider-Man for more tritium. While they're figuring that out, there's a fire at a building and Peter runs in to save this little girl. Now, mind you, he has no power, so he has to do this as himself.
Your old-fashioned way.
He does save the little girl, but somebody else died in the building. And this is really where he's like, if I was Spider-Man, I would be able to save them. So his struggle to not be Spider-Man, because it's always within him to actually be a good person and be Spider-Man, like the main struggle really starts to creep in here, because the whole movie is about balancing your life, trying to do everything at the same time, trying to have a job, trying to go to school, trying to be Spider-Man, trying to be an adult, trying to have a personal life, trying to be there for your aunt, trying to have a girlfriend, and he simply can't do that.
Want too much on your plate, son.
So Aunt May gives a pro-Spidey speech as she's packing up to dip the house, and this speech amps up Peter enough to try to be Spider again, and we get what feels like the beginning of a montage. Instead, he eats shit and smacks stuff out of his back on the car.
I'm back, my back.
Speaking of backs, Tobey Maguire had hurt his back during Seabiscuit, and that was before the filming of this film, so Sony thought he wasn't gonna make it. So they had our good old pal Jake Gyllenhaal to be the backup Spider-Man, but luckily Tobey was okay. I say luckily because I think everybody would have bitched and it would have been a big thing if Spider-Man is just recasted, you know?
Yeah, everybody's the same except Spider-Man. You're like, what?
I do feel like New York be New York in this movie. It also feels alive, but at the same time, it also looked like a set to me. I don't know if it was the lighting, because they hit it pretty well in the first one with it being more dark. But there's a moment where Otto's like walking down the street at night, and it just looks very much like a set.
Yeah, all the night scenes feel like a set, because I think the stairs where Peter was originally waiting for MJ the first time he missed the play, I think that was one of the doors from How I Met Your Mother. So I was like, oh shit, okay. So
MJ marrying the astronaut, I think because she thinks is Spider-Man, right? So she heads over and tries to kiss him upside down, and then she's disappointed.
Yeah, she's like, nah.
Oh, now you're not into it.
He don't suck face like my homeboy.
He's all like, that was cool. And she's like,
Simon.
yeah, but it's not the one I wanted. So
Baby, you got my blood flowing. So what we gonna do now?
We're gonna do nothing. I'm gonna dump your ass later. But it's like, then she goes to meet Peter at a coffee shop and is like, oh, now you want to give him a chance. Why? He's trying to back to be Spider-Man. Every time he tries to be Spider-Man, she comes in like a wet fart. Wait, she's just toxic. And then she's like, do you love me or not? That's toxic shit.
Yeah, but he grows backbone and says no.
But he does. But he's like, no. But he do because he wants to protect.
But he knows that if MJ is in his life, he's not gonna do shit. So he says, you know what? No, I don't love you.
And even with that, she's like, well, but give me a kissy then. It's like, no, bitch. I said no. Don't you understand?
Because she can't have him anymore. That's a toxic thing.
No, because she's trying to see if he's Spidey.
I know he's trying to see what he's. Esa madre, pero fuck her.
He's creeping over to give her a bichito. And then a car comes crashing through the window, which looks really cool and probably gives one of the best like looking scenes. Yeah, CGI stuff. But I was thinking, what the hell was Otto's angle there? To kill Peter? He doesn't know he's not Spider-Man. You would have killed Peter. You're throwing a car through a window to his back. He would have died. And then what? So the car going through the coffee shop doesn't make no sense. You okay? Am I f***ing your movie?
Yeah. My whole rationale behind it is that I think he threw the car trying to injure Peter as much as he could so Spider-Man would get pissed off.
That would have killed him. You're throwing a car. His wife died by shattered glass. There was shattered glass all over.
I was trying to make it make sense, but yeah, it doesn't.
So he takes MJ and now Peter is back as Spidey. His powers are back. He can see now. He's back. So he's got to get his suit back from JJ because he bought it off of a bum for $50.
Give you $50.
I could get more than that on eBay.
All right, 100. Miss Brandt, give this man his money and throw in a bar of soap.
And that was a joke because I think 2 or 3 suits from the first movie vanished and they found him on eBay. So that was like a shot to that.
That's cool.
But I like JJ's flip in there when he was like,
Spider-Man was a hero. He stole my suit. He's a menace to the entire city. I want that wall-crawling arachnid prosecuted.
have you seen it when he's wearing the suit and he's jumping on the desk? Yeah. That was a deleted scene of him in the suit where he's trying to hide that he actually likes Spidey, you know? And then it cuts to the people from the office like taking a peek into the office.
That two-faced bastard.
Yeah, but it makes more money to talk shit on him on the press, right?
Of course.
So this leads to the second face-off between Otto and his Spider-Man on the choo-choo. Very fun choreography. You can tell that there's a lot of thought put into it. And there was actually a whole lot of thought because Raimi was working on this train scene since the very first movie.
Holy neta?
So he already had an idea as to what he wanted it to do with the train, and he did it. After a bunch of fighting, he ends up on the front of the train to try to stop it and does a very funny orgasm face to stop the choo-choo. Did you recognize Phil Lamar as one of the patrons on the choo-choo train?
No.
Yeah, and they carry him through the choo-choo like Jesus. So Otto shows up, and Joey Coco Diaz is like, "You ain't getting to him, sucker." Nah, he don't say that. He doesn't say that. But he's like, "You want on, you gotta go through me."
It's time for us to shoot suckers. They want to get down and dirty. Don't forget who the we are. You understand me? We're the baddest motherfuckers out there. You send a message to that North Korean. He's gonna be sniffing my and sucking my ass. I don't give a Worry about yourself. Keep your eyes open and get the off Snapchat and Twitter, sucker. Stay black.
But Otto's like, I mean, open sesame, everybody moves out the way.
That was hilarious. That okay.
All right. So he ends up taking him over to Harry's, where Harry's gonna kill him, and he sees that he's actually Peter.
And Peter with the spine tells him, "Hey, there's bigger things than you and me, son."
Well, before that, Harry's like, "You killed my father," and I was thinking, why didn't Peter just be like, "Nah, bro, he killed himself. Like, watch out, I did some cool shit," and then like he tried to impale me, but he impaled himself. Like, did you not do an autopsy on your daddy? Did you not see the 2 giant glider stab wounds on his abdomen? Like, what the
Normally, a body is not as aerodynamic as to have a bunch of holes through the torso, so...
I know he was flying around, but that wasn't by the design. You know? Then I remember that Goblin was like, "Don't tell Harry." They gave a simple solution for this movie to put that on the back burner where he's like, "Oh, that doesn't matter, man. Kill problems. Kill daddy." Like... I gotta go save the whore. Like, give me a second, right?
Damn, yeah, that's true. Save the whore.
Which it leads to the third fight of the movie at Otto's lair, where he gets electrocuted and fries the arms. And Otto flies off and stuff starts happening. That jolt of electricity did something to his brain, because then he's like, he kind of grows some balls and he's like, no, now you're going to listen to me.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Tells him how to stop this machine that's about to destroy the whole city, because mi compa still doesn't know how to do math, apparently. He keeps doing the same mistake over and over again. He keeps taking his mask off, so his mask is off once again, and MJ sees that it's Peter, and then a wall almost crushes her, and then Otto sacrifices himself and drowns the thingy. It's like, damn, that river's deep as shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
It kept going and going and going and going and going. That's a deep ass river.
That technically, since the sun was self-sustaining, it should have just boiled the river. But I was like, we're gonna get a hole on the planet and it's gonna explode and it's gonna be Spidey's fault.
But instead he don't worry about that and he saves MJ. And then she's like, I think I always knew. You didn't know nothing, way. The whole time la está haciendo de pedo. This is where it pissed me off. I hated her. She can eat a fat one. Oh, now you love him because he's Spidey and he kissed you upside down. Oh, so now for clout, you like Peter now, you know? Puta way, because then he's like, all right, go. And she goes and runs into the astronaut's arms, mate. As if she just didn't tell Peter that she's the one or whatever. Because he told her, like, I can't. No se puede, way.
Exactly. That's the moment where she should have got, hey, you know what? I'm your bitch, spaceman. I'm gonna stay with you.
No, she probably literally did the spaceman that same night. I'm telling you, MJ sucks. Because then we got to put pause on that, because Harry is going crazy and starts to hear his dad in his head. Now, why is he hearing the dad? Did Peter being Spidey broke him, and is this like psychosis?
I think so. I think that's what happened. It was such a traumatic experience, a traumatic revelation. It was like, oh shit, my best friend killed my best daddy.
Because he didn't take anything, because Goblin was hearing voices because he was taking shit. He broke him and he hears his dad in the mirror where he yells, "Avenge me!" That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Willem Dafoe is a goat, man.
Well, he wasn't supposed to even be in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was walking by set and decided to stop by and check out, and then they came up with that scene.
On the fly?
Yep, and it was also Dafoe's idea for him to yell "Avenge me" at him and all that, so yeah.
So, hold on. He was just walking on the set.
He just put himself in the movie just because he was strolling by.
See,
must be fun.
For the lulz.
Yeah, so Harry breaks the glass where he finds masks, bombs, serum, and the glider, teasing the third movie.
Who put the glider in there? Mr. Old Guy? Butler? Bernard?
He probably had more than one glider.
Maybe, yeah. That's where the movie should have ended.
Oh, they should have cut right there?
Yup.
No, instead, after everything she told Peter that she loved you, but she don't love Peter, she loves Spidey, this whole getting married to the cuckstronaut. Like, what the f*** going on, man? But no, this bitch don't come out with her toxic ass. Instead, she's running away, and it's in slow motion, and she's all happy. Like, she did not just ruin a bunch of people's lives. Toda estúpida, smiling.
Aparte de estúpida.
Egotistical, like the whole movie's about you. We don't care about you, bitch.
Selfish. That's the word I was looking for. Selfish.
Super selfish. We're running to the park. Off. She goes to Pete's place and she's like, I had to do what I had to do. I can't survive without you. You seemed fine when you called me a chair, ho. What happened? You found out I was Spider-Man, huh? Pinche puta, I've always been here. Shut up, bitch. No, you weren't. You're just a cloud chaser. You saw I was Spidey, and all you want to do is kiss me upside down. Way off.
Then the chancla got all moist. Y dijo, go get him, Tiger.
Yeah, go get him, Tiger. And even at the end, her face is like she's not happy. Way. She's still like, he's gone. Like, what the f*** do you want?
Yeah, I hated that face.
Yeah, you ain't worth all this trouble, man. Peter, go talk to Elizabeth Banks, would you, at the Bugle? No mames. I mean, he will in the next one, but no mames. And you know what's the worst part? There's no Nickelback, man. What's going on?
I think by this point, Nickelback's hated as
I don't care.
Nickelback's guts.
I don't care, man. Even with no Nickelback, this movie still managed to gross $789 million with a boosted budget of $200 million. We were raving about the visuals. I did not know this thing won an Oscar for visual effects.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like they knew they had something because they started production on this thing immediately after the very first movie. The OG title for this was The Amazing Spider-Man. But they ended up changing it to Spider-Man 2 because they didn't want to like confuse people.
That's better.
That's a good choice. And the original story, Doc Ock was actually supposed to be younger. He was supposed to be around the same age as the three main peoples. He was going to be obsessed with MJ, and the AI arms were supposed to be slowly killing him. So he wanted Spidey's blood to help him out. How does he know that Spidey's blood's going to help him out? Because he was also supposed to be the scientist behind the creation of the spider that bit Peter. And he's also was going to have a cure for Peter. So all that would have been explored. And on top of that, Harry was going to have a $10 million bounty out on Spidey's head. And the whole city was going to be hunting him. And some of the people hunting him was going to be the Black Cat, Lizard, and then Harry was also going to be the Goblin too. But Raimi thought this was a little bit too much. So he used Superman 2 as inspiration.
Oh, I know. Okay, why not?
Because of the abandoning of the powers bit. Some elements of the Doc Ock stuff sounds interesting.
The bounty, I think it's a little bit much, but the Doc Ock, the being obsessed with MJ, I don't like. Being the same age as Peter, I don't like. But the other stuff, like him being one of the guys that created the spiders, that would be freaking dope.
I don't know. It sounds interesting. So it's kind of to me like, oh, I wish I would have seen that. But I think ultimately the better decision was made because they took, I don't know, man. Because my problem with this movie is that it lingered too much on Peter's misery. So if he had another villain or two to like take down as a side quest, it would have made it better for me.
Oh, okay, I get it.
I know this movie's considered one of the best ones. You said it was your favorite.
My favorite, yeah.
Your favorite superhero movie, period.
I think the villain was pretty cool. I think Spidey's journey, instead of being 2 hours, it could have been like an hour and a half. But I like the humanity. I like that the characters were fleshed out. They were three-dimensional. They had flaws. They weren't these perfect goody two-shoes or even the one-dimensional villains. I liked it a lot. The pacing was actually pretty good.
That's what I think I hate about MJ, though, that they try to paint her as the goody two-shoes, but she's doing all this hoe shit.
Oh, no. If we would have just lost MJ completely and let her marry the cuckstronaut.
The cuckstronaut. Such a cuck.
Yeah, you can just let her marry the cuckstronaut, and then we get Gwen Stacy's.
I don't want this to be interpreted as I did not like the movie. I think it's really good. It's not my favorite. I think I like the first one out of the Raimis. But my main problem is that the main issue of the story doesn't get resolved.
What do you mean? MJ and him got together.
The whole point of the movie is that he can't balance everything. So at the end of the movie, all he does is nothing. Like he's still Spider-Man, and the only thing that happened was that he got a hoe in his life now. But he never figured out how to balance everything. Like he's got no job, his schools, he's gonna be Spider-Man. Aunt May's homeless almost, but MJ though, so it's like nothing gets resolved. The problem of balance is still there. He didn't learn anything. Did you not realize that either?
No.
Sorry. But you know what I'm saying, right? The whole movie is like, it's too much. Okay, well then learn how to do it. Okay, I'll stop being Spider-Man for a minute. Okay, I'm Spider-Man. Oh, I got a girlfriend now. And then it ends on him going out to be Spider-Man again. It's like, well, what?
Oh no, I'm following you to the letter, and I get it. I'm like, oh shit.
You didn't learn anything.
You're still at the same place.
Seaway. But again, I still think it's, other than that, like major issue and a couple others I pointed out, that doesn't mean I don't like this movie. I think it's fun. It's got really funny moments. That's probably the best part of the movie, that Raimi knew when to inject some comedy while using real people. Obviously, the effects are good. It's Oscar nominated. It's Oscar winning. But I just don't think that the issues of the story were ever
addressed.
I don't think it's my favorite. My favorite is probably number 1, which we've also done for the list, and I'll leave it for you right over here. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to always and forever, you do you.
Bye.